Hey guys, Lee Michelle, Resistance Chicks coming at you March 18th, 2017. So we have been telling you guys the chemicals, they're doing it on purpose. There's chemicals in the water, there's chemicals in the food, there's chemicals in the air, there's chemicals in your clothing, there's chemicals in your gym shoes, chemicals. Everything that they are doing, it is part of Agenda 21, and they are trying to morph us into weird things, depopulation, all that jazz. But no offense to jazz, we're gonna go there. The transgender
Okay, so this
thing.
is part 2. This is the transgender frogs. This is a real, actual thing. And so somebody kind of did a spoof and a comedy about Alex Jones, and I'm gonna play it. But they also hit on the reality of chemicals that are literally causing sex changes in frogs. And I think that this is probably a piece to why we have this huge...
Raise your hand if y'all saw Jurassic Park. And you know about the frogs more from genders.
So you fed this crap, and I know you already know that, but listen, we're bombarded with chemicals on purpose.
Thank you,
There's
Alex.
white papers. Read the book where John P. Holdren wrote that I've actually got in my office, Eco-Science, about putting chemicals in your water, sterilizing all of it, and how they were doing it in the 70s. He wrote that book in 74. I was born then. And I'm not masculine compared to a lot of men before me, and compared to new guys, I mean, I'm like King Kong or something. Scary. So here is the gay frog holocaust. Laugh at your enjoyment, but take action to do something about
So a
this. Because we're laughing at our own
YouTuber put
demise.
it together.
For some reason, humor gets this across, but laugh at your own peril, because this is very serious. Here it is.
So, when I'm shopping for a new gravity-fed water filter,
We
for some
actually
reason, every now and then,
have the
I
gravity-fed
can't help
water.
but feel
We
like
do,
I'm
it's
under
awesome.
attack by globalists.
Now, you know that the globalists are filling our water with radioactive isotopes, fluoride, lead, mercury, arsenic.
For some reason, this makes me uncomfortably angry. Like, I'm being conditioned or something, and it just makes me want to buy a bigger, better water filter.
Also, they have the Pro Pure Big, probably one of the best values out there.
Anyway, once I've finished, I really feel like I've accomplished something. I'll be damned if I'm just going to sit here and let the globalists poison me and my family. I have a duty, a responsibility, to get rid of this brainwashing.
So this is Alex Jones on Sometimes.
We know it! We're breaking the conditioning!
But then the humble merchant promoting his excellent wares will say something really out there, like,
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay!
and I'm just like, why the globalists
Sorry,
want gay
maybe we can-
frogs?
We might be able to.
I mean, a part of me knows that it's part of an organised campaign to save the Earth by depopulating the planet of humans using the gay agenda.
Now there it is, the gay bomb. Look it up for yourself.
So I did. I went out of my way to do Young Turk's level of research by going to Google and typing in, are the globalists turning the frogs gay? That's exactly what I thought. Google confirms they are turning the frogs gay. I couldn't believe that gay frogs was such big news, so I opened up a Healthy Living blog to find out more. They had an article titled, What the Gay Frogs Tell Us About Our Water and Ourselves. They say they find themselves puzzled by recent scientific findings about the influence of endocrine disruptors on sexual behaviour in male South African claw frogs. After being exposed in a laboratory environment to EPA-approved levels of atrazine, the second most commonly used herbicide in the US, as well as a fairly common endocrine disruptor found in water supplies, these male frogs underwent significant change in behaviour. The frogs exposed to the atrazine, as opposed to the control group who weren't, started exhibiting distinct homosexual behaviour. Not only did they engage in homosexual sex with one another, as the attending scientist Tyrone Hayes, PhD, said of the frogs, their behaviour became feminised. To be clear, they didn't just behave like females, but actually started producing eggs, which, fertilised by normal male frogs, produced male offspring. In general, if you go to an environment that's contaminated with atrazine, you find more hermaphroditic or abnormally developed males, and this hormone or endocrine disruptor, like others, poses significant risk to all populations, animal, human, homosexual and otherwise. So naturally I thought to myself, well, these sound like conspiracy theorists. So I decided to look at the study myself and see what the frog scientists had to say about it. Atrazine induces complete feminization and chemical castration in male African clawed frogs. And I was like,
I will
that's
link
exactly
you
what the
to the
globalists want.
study.
I had a look at the abstract. Atrazine exposed males were both demasculinized, chemically castrated, and completely feminized as adults. 10% of the exposed genetic males developed into functional females that copulated with unexposed males and produced viable eggs. I was gobsmacked. They're not just turning the frogs gay, they're turning the frogs trans. The humble merchant didn't go far enough. Atrazine-exposed males suffered from depressed testosterone, decreased breeding gland size, demasculinized feminized laryngeal development, suppressed mating behavior, reduced spermatogenesis, and decreased fertility. And I thought to myself, where have I seen all of that before?
I need feminism because in a world governed by the current gender roles applied to men and women, I would not be very successful at that. If all of a sudden I found myself time traveled back into the 1950s, being married with 2 kids, having to provide for the family, having to make all the decisions completely for everyone in the house, oh god, I would not do well at that at all. I'm shy, I'm passive, I'm definitely not good at making decisions for other people. That would be bad news bears.
And then I just thought, holy is literal proof that we're under attack by globalists. There's a frog genocide happening right under our eyes that's literally going to end in a gay frog orgy until the entire species is wiped out, and nobody cares. No wonder Alex Jones is so angry. He's just an environmentalist.
I think my testosterone's going up. This happens every time I start working out a lot again. And I swam 2 miles this morning pretty hard, and ate a big fat steak last night. It's full of hormones, testosterone on its own right. So I'm going a little bit wild today, excuse me. So now you know why the corporate media just makes jokes about this, because...
Okay, so laughing aside, and yes, it's funny,
so
but it's not actually really funny.
Right.
I'm trying to find
It was actually really funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Okay, so I went and found the study as well.
Hey!
Atrazine induces complete feminization and chemical castration in male African claw frogs. So,
Can we go back to the part that might have been skimmed over? Atrazine is one of the 2
major herbicides. Herbicides is a Roundup and things like that.
It's all on your food. If you do not buy organic food,
yeah,
it's in there and you're eating it. And
right.
guess what? It's also in the water. I think, because of chemical runoff and stuff like that. They don't filter that out. We actually have the Alexa Pure water filter from Alex Jones's show, and I love it. Water actually tastes so much better. The only hiccup is that it filters out minerals, but we cook on a cast iron skillet, so
there's a couple other studies that are related. Demasculation and feminization of male gonads by atrazine, hermaphroditic demasculated frogs in 2000. So this is actually a real thing.
Are you going to touch all the chemicals from all the medicine that's in the water too?
Well, there is that.
Well, then at the same time,
all the estrogen and the
there are some studies. I didn't bring them up to link them. But what happens when a lot of people put their pills down the toilet. And one of the number 1 things that goes through there is birth control. Now, what is birth control? It's an estrogen inducing hormone.
Right.
It makes your body actually a woman's body think they're pregnant. Okay, so what happens when a lot of people pee these things through, they actually do not have the ability
to filter this out of the water.
To filter these things out of the water.
And so your local chemical, not chemical, water plant, processing plant, unfortunately it's really gross if you think about it, but the water from the sewage gets recycled and then you drink it. So it is in the water. They found all of these chemical traces, mass amount of chemical traces of birth control.
Now, of course, people are
and other
saying that don't worry about it. It's not enough to affect anything. But over time, you're drinking water. That's all you're doing is drinking water.
Yeah.
And so
water's not just in your drinks, right? They use water to make all of your processed foods.
What if, since birth control came out in the 70s, now you have this entire generation of kids who are 18 to 30,
right?
Who there's a lot of transgenders here, and so
and a more amount of homosexuals.
I mean, no, I am not putting down the young man behind me, but obviously he's doesn't have a lot of male,
kind of wimpy,
ish. Now that could have to do with the stuff that he does or doesn't do all day long. There's a lot of components here. We wanted to bring you the chemical component, the atrazine component, and bring it into you in a funny way.
There's a lot of soy in the foods. That's another huge thing.
I encourage males not to stay away from soy as much as they can.
There was a big push for soy in the 70s and 80s and 90s where they were saying it's this health food.
It's not. Soy is not a health food.
Oh no, it's
soy burgers, soy milk, things like that. It messes up females and males, but it can mess up males even more. It's one of the highest in estrogen. And so if we might have some vegans and vegetarians. Watch the proteins that you eat, and try to eat the ones that aren't soy based.
Right.
So
there's the frog thing. Hang on, the peanut gallery's got another one.
Well, farms for everybody. Grow your own.
That's a very good point. How Leah and Michelle, how can we avoid all of this stuff?
Do as the family
We raise our own
did.
pigs. We raise our own chickens. We have a pig that's going to be having a litter of piglets here shortly, and we will be showing that to you guys.
we get grass-fed beef from a local farmer.
We raise our own.
You can't trust a society without God.
You
They're
can't
gonna
trust
do
society
wrong.
without God. Matt was just showing us one with rice made with plastic. So
Yeah. It's really hard for us. And Leah and Michelle, do you guys never go to the grocery store? No, we do. We do what we can, and then the rest we just give over to God, because the Bible says you will eat any deadly thing and it will not harm you if you're trusting in Him.
But at the same
we
time,
do everything that we can and then
use
give the rest to God.
wisdom,
right?
And do what you can.
Right. Do your part.
Go
do
at
what
it.
you can.
If you can't afford a water filter, you can't afford a water filter.
Right.
We made that choice.
Right.
We bought a water filter. Do we drink all of our water from the water filter?
No.
But does it make us feel a little bit better? Yeah.
Well, especially when they talk about the fluoride. It's not just this gender issue. The fluoride is massive. There was a huge push because they said it was better for your teeth.
Right.
To have fluoride in the water.
So weird.
But the Nazis used fluoride in the water to pacify the Jews and to make them more subdued and easier to handle. So we now have all this fluoride in the water, and there's this big push for fluoridation, and
Preach it, sister.
It's wrong, it's evil, and so that's why we had to buy this water filter, because your regular water filter on your refrigerator or whatever
for the fluoride
doesn't filter out fluoride. So, all right, you guys, there you go. This is Leah Michelle signing off, where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth, and they're poisoning you in your water and trying to change your gender to depopulate the earth. That's right.
Do you want to do, I was going to do where the number of Swedish children wanting to change gender. Should we do that in a second? One more?
Yeah.
Third one? Okay.
Or no, we can do it now.
It's good. We'll do
Okay.
it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming back. One more.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications and find us on Facebook and on Twitter. The K doesn't fit, so it's Resistance Chicks without the K. So you can find us there. We love you guys. God bless.
Cold all alone, no place for home every day, so afraid, but you call my name.